Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're talking about rapper and trendsetter Kendrick Lamar. From the streets of Compton, Kendrick has mounted a meteoric rise in the rap game over the last couple years. He's recently released hit songs like Humble, award-winning albums, and Kendrick was the first ever halftime show performer for the College Football National Championship in January. And he even did the soundtrack for Black Panther, one of the biggest movies of this year, and possibly of all time. So needless to say, Kendrick is pretty goddamn hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
But all this fame sometimes comes at a price. Sometimes one's ego turns for the worse, and it looks like Kendrick's ego may have gotten overbloated to the point of possibly exploding this week. You see, there's a new story going around about Kendrick being pretty disrespectful to a young female fan at one of his recent concerts. On Sunday, rapper Kendrick Lamar called out a white fan for not skipping the N-word in one of his songs, after he invited her on stage to rap it with him. The woman was among one of the lucky fans who knew all the words to Lamar's 2012 track Mad City, and she was invited to come up on stage and rap with him during the final day of the Hangout Festival in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Unfortunately for her though, Kendrick didn't take too kindly to her using the same lyrics he wrote and sang himself. Quite hypocritical. But let's go ahead and take a look at the original Twitter video and see what exactly happened.
Wait. Am I not cool enough for you? What's up, bro?
I guess she doesn't have the right skin color to sing this song, which is pretty ironic since Kendrick brought her on stage to sing this song. Don't give white girls microphones if you don't want them to sing, Kendrick, and don't overly use the word if you don't want thousands of your white fans to sing along to it. This is pretty lame and fucked up on Kendrick's part. He's saying hold up, stopping his show and trying to embarrass this pretty much innocent girl. Sure, maybe she should have known better. With racial tensions in the country and whatnot, I would have scoffed and clammed up in this situation, maybe, but you also can't hold it against the girl either. She was brought on stage to sing along. This was basically a setup. Kendrick set this girl up to fail here, so he could call her out and virtue signal to all his black fans and SJWs, I guess.
What's up?
My boy Rohan kind of knew the rules a little bit.
Will's just really cool, bro. You have to work.
You gotta bleep one single word though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Should she stay up here, y'all?
I don't know, Kendrick. Saying people of a certain race can't say a certain thing sounds pretty, I don't know, racist? I love how modern black people think they can be overtly racist because there was racist, shitty people in the past. It's like they think because of slavery, something they and no one they know has ever experienced, they think because something bad like that happened to black people in the past, they think because they read that in a history book, because of that, they can call out modern white people and tell them what they can and cannot say. What a fucking joke. And believe me, I can understand the history of the N-word. It is a touchy subject and people have a right to say they don't like it and they don't want to hear people saying it. And also, it is Kendrick Lamar's show too, so he has every right to do this too, but it is pretty goddamn hypocritical since Kendrick uses the N-word himself liberally in a lot of his songs. If he wasn't saying it or rapping it himself, it would be fair to stop someone else from saying it, but come on, you can't say over and over again and then pull this holier than thou shit, Kendrick. Kendrick is clearly not saying the word is bad and people shouldn't say it because him and his homies use the N-word all the time. No, what Ken is saying is he can say it, but we can't. He's treating white people differently based on their skin color, and that's pretty much the textbook definition of racism. And this whole situation at the concert is very suspect too. Like Kendrick set this whole thing up as a photo op, a publicity stunt. I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty undeniable. Kendrick is at his own concert, which he controls the show. He asks a white fan to come on stage and sing with him, to sing a song he knows has the N-word in it. All the while, they're in front of a large audience with cameras pointing at the stage. I think someone needs to call in Admiral Akbar here because this looks like a trap to me.
Pull up! All craft, pull up!
Take a base of action. Green group, stay across the holding sector of each other.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 27.
It's a trap!
And this isn't all joking either. The N-word trap is a real thing, something I've discussed before on the show in fact. Last summer I did a video about Bill Maher, who was facing backlash for using the term in one of his jokes. Apparently Bill thought he was liberal and cool enough with black people that he could get away with saying that, but oh no. His fans, HBO, and the country all turned on him for it. In fact, another rapper, Ice Cube, was even chastising Maher for saying it on his own show. Let's take a quick look back at my video about it from last year, and my initial commentary.
about.
My thing is this, you know, and I'm cool with you. I like your show, to be honest. I just want to know 2 questions. What made you think that it was cool to say that?
I'm glad you said cool, Ice. And it's not because of the pun. People think it's cool to say because rappers like you use it in your music so much. This is why some high schoolers in Nebraska might be calling each other as a joke. It's because rappers have glorified the word and made it cool. You're not really offended by the word Ice Cube. You use it in every one of your albums. You've made millions off your rap music, which includes slurs, so no, Ice Cube. You're only offended by that word now that you caught a white person saying it. You're a fucking millionaire hypocrite and it's pathetic. I love you, bro, but this shit has to stop. And now you can see why this whole situation is relevant once again. The N-word trap has struck the news cycle once again this week. And this time it's Kendrick Lamar chastising a young girl fan. And this time it seems even worse to me too, since Kendrick actually set that girl up to fail. At least with Bill Maher, he made the joke on his own accord. Maher dug his own grave and Ice Cube just showed up to piss on it. But now with this new story, Kendrick dug this girl's grave. He set her up and put her on the ledge and basically nudged her into falling into it. This is a far worse and far more ridiculous situation, in my opinion. Things look even worse for rationality in the world too when you realize much of the lamestream media is backing up Kendrick's heinous, virtue signaling stunt here. People.com supports Kendrick's actions in an article called Kendrick Lamar calls out white fan for saying the N-word during Alabama concert. Check this shit out. Kendrick Lamar schooled a white fan after she said a derogatory racial slur during an Alabama concert. Actually, wait, no, it wasn't a slur and it wasn't derogatory. The girl sang the lyrics to Kendrick's song because she was brought up on stage to do so. So let's not frame this up like she stormed the stage and started calling everyone N-words, like an actual racist. The girl was asked to come on stage to sing a song Kendrick wrote. Singing in a song isn't a derogatory racial slur at all. The Pulitzer Prize winner invited a white fan named Delaney on stage during his set at the Hangout Festival in Gulf Shores, Alabama on Sunday. You're really trying to church up this OG gangster wannabe, aren't you people? Sure, Kendrick won a Pulitzer Prize for writing his album which is littered with profanities and quote, derogatory racial slurs. In your words, people.com. Now, in a fair world, if it's offensive for this girl to say the N-word, it should be equally offensive when Kendrick does it. This double standard is the real problem here. This is the real racism. It really looks like the N-word trap has struck again here, and that's why I say all non-black people should just avoid saying the word altogether. It's not worth the trouble. The two were rapping to his 2012 hit song Mad City when Delaney failed to self-censor and said full lyrics which included the N-word. After she said it more than once, Lamar, 30, cut her off and addressed the issue, although Delaney seemed confused as to what the issue was. Wait, the rapper said as the music cut off. Yeah, I could see why that was a bit confusing. Sure, with hindsight it seems pretty obvious. It's obvious that white people should never say that word around blacks, especially on camera. But at the time, in that situation, the girl had every reason to believe it would have been okay to say. Hell, I've heard Kendrick has done this at other concerts, and has even encouraged others to say the N-word repeatedly. And that's why I think it's bullshit that he's getting all butthurt now. I'm willing to bet this is a publicity stunt. Kendrick set up this N-word trap so he could chastise this poor white girl publicly and virtue signal to his black fan base and to SJWs and lefties. And that's simply pathetic if you ask me. In the end, the moral to the story is this. No matter how cool you think you are with black people, don't ever try to say the N-word around them. It's just asking for trouble. Even if you've gotten away with saying it before, you never know when a black person could be having a bad day and decide you're not allowed to say it anymore. Bill Maher thought he was cool and hip and liberal and progressive enough to say it. Hell, he has spent most of his life dating and sleeping with black women, but no way. One day he slipped up last summer and he's probably still getting shit about saying that. And now we got this white girl at the Alabama concert getting shamed on stage, publicly flogged, and now she's getting ridiculed on the internet too, for millions to see. And she's not even a public figure at all, just a Kendrick Lamar fan who probably paid a lot of money and spent a lot of time going to that show too. What Kendrick did to his fan was completely unnecessary, reprehensible, and highly hypocritical too. If these black rappers want people to stop saying the N-word, they should start by not saying it themselves. And I know they got their own racist reasons for why this double standard exists, but people aren't buying that shit anymore. The country and the world are starting to wake up more and more each day to these left-wing, SJW-fueled hypocrisies, like the N-word trap. And I think it's time we make them stop doing it once and for all. What do you guys think? Should this girl have known to not say the N-word? Was Kendrick Lamar being a lame, oversensitive baby about it? And do you see it as an N-word trap like I do? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time. one more thing. I want to give a special thanks to these amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are the best. You guys went above and beyond the rest, and I love you so much for it. If anyone else wants to donate or join our Patreon crew, link in the description. Thanks again.